It is a popular belief that buying powerful superbikes and supercars in India is a waste, and it is pointless to invest into something which has many cylinders and many horsepower. Well, today we're going to prove that wrong, and to prove it wrong, we have this. It's the Triumph Daytona 675R. Welcome to another episode of CrankIt by the Gearhead Bureau.
Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers my guys. Know that they fly. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die. 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 Cold, these brothers my guys. Know that they fly. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
Triumph has blessed this swan song Daytona with a 675cc engine, which when fed petrol will give you 118 ball-busting horsepower, and that rightfully puts all the competition back in their place. Although this is a big bike, the Daytona does not feel cumbersome while riding in the city. Although you might be a little on edge because of the riding posture, which is pretty aggressive, but once the city stops and the highway opens up, this bike is blindingly fast. Triumph claims that the 675R can do 0 to 100 km an hour in under 3.5 seconds, and flat out it'll be doing 250 km an hour. But I think it's more than that. It's way more. Well, it's not only because of the peppy 3-cylinder inline engine, but it's because of the quick shifter mechanism which comes fitted stock. Which means that when you run out of fun on the 14,400 RPM red line, you just kick the lever and the fun restarts again for 6 more gears. The 675R comes equipped with a slipper clutch and dual-channel ABS that you can manually turn off, and not one, but two 320mm discs in the front, which means you can get the safety of stopping on the roads and the ability to control the monster on track days. This bike is fitted all round with accessories from Öhlins, which means everything from the steering dampers and the shock absorbers can be set to the rider's preferences. And since this was a previously owned bike, the gentleman tuned it to the Euro spec, where the bike pumps out a staggering 126 horsepower. Carbon fiber body panels not only make it strong and safe, but also super lightweight. This has an Aero aftermarket exhaust as well, which sounds really sweet. On paper, the stats of this bike is terrifying to me and to its competitors. But I'm very glad to inform you that on road, this bike is even more terrifying. Triumph has somehow nailed it. This sweet inline 3-cylinder engine and the 675cc displacement is just right, and I think Triumph has made a masterpiece. By design, 3-cylinder engines are compact and more efficient, and since they're compact, it helps the bike to be balanced perfectly. And the engine is super light too, which means that the braking distance reduces by a large amount, and when you smack the brakes, your eyes just pop out of their sockets. And I admit, it is much less refined than the 4-cylinder engines, but that's the special thing about it. The sound is just so sweet. Just listen to it. Usually, bikes of this performance and power class are usually hefty and heavy and difficult to maneuver. But this is different. This is light, it's agile, it's nimble. I agree, it makes it a little unstable, but it's a worthy trade-off for the racket this thing creates. You're not scared of this bike because it accelerates a little too quickly or because it's a little fast. It's especially nerve-wracking because it can change direction almost immediately. Well, here we have the bike, and I have Sadi riding it around all day. Let's hear what he has to say. So, what do you think?
I mean, for a bike with just 675cc and inline 3 cylinders, and for it to outperform most of its competition, no matter if it is inline 4 or the liter class, that's pretty amazing for a bike of this standard. The quick shifter is amazing, the brakes are amazing, and not to forget the all-in suspension. You have like hundreds of settings you can do with all the combinations you can change in the bound compression and all that things.
How was the ride feel though? How did it feel riding it flat out, open throttle?
Open throttle, it has that proper distribution of power in certain RPMs,
Right.
and it's mostly predictable. It's not too grunty, so you know at what point you're gonna be thrown out of the vehicle. So, and the high revving motor also has other qualities like engine braking gets easier if you want to slow down by just gearing down. And then what else? And of course, the weight of this bike. If you think about it, it barely weighs as much as a Duke 390,
True.
and it has like multiples of its power. So you know what beast of a machine this is.
Long story short, this bike simply chases down corners and eats them for breakfast. Many boring people you encounter may tell you that 15 lakh rupees for a monster that converts petrol to speed and noise is not a good investment. They'll tell you that you can't ride it around the city and it's no fun. But to me, this is how a motorcycle should look, sound and feel. If I had the money, I wouldn't pick any other bike because this is the best middleweight bike in the world. Thank you for watching another episode of CrankIt by the Gearhead Group.
Now I gotta ride or die.